I understand it now. The anchor is going to be the offensive line. I like it.
What's up, man? Without these guys, it wouldn't be nothing.
What's good, people? It's your boy, Mr. Rome, Cowboys Fan Talk. Right back. Like I never left. What's going on with y'all, man? I hope y'all doing well today. Listen, before I get into the content, do me a favor. If you know what this shirt is about, if you're a fan of this show, put it in the comments, man. One of my favorite shows of all time. Fun fact about CFT. Now, let's talk offensive line. Listen, I'm one of the biggest fans of Dak Prescott on the internet or social media, whatever you want to say. Y'all know that. Y'all see the shirt behind me. And that's fine. CeeDee Lamb going to go crazy this year. George Pickens going to go crazy this year. Great. But the anchor of this team, the anchor of this offense is going to be this offensive line. It's in our fabric. That's why, when I drop content, I try to drop it with a purpose. I ain't just giving y'all whatever I can scour or Google. It all has a purpose behind it. I'm trying to build towards something, or I'm trying to explain something in my eyes. Yesterday, I talked about John Gruden and that clip that's floating around of him talking about we lost our identity. It made me think, well, what will our identity be if we want to have serious success? I talked about how our brethren up in the Northeast have stolen our identity, built their team around their offensive line. That's what the Cowboys was built on. That's what we did. And we got away from that. And I was not the biggest fan of going to get offensive linemen in the draft. Y'all know this. I was team weapons. Whatever. It's gone. It's past. We're talking about what's happening now. Now that we have this offensive line in place, now that we got a road grader, a big mover of human beings, Tyler Booker in place, we have an all-pro and Tyler Smith, one of the best guards in the league. I think he's the best guard. Some people will say top 3, whatever. One of the best guards in the league. And we have one of the best centers now in the league. After 1 year, I look at Cooper Beebe as one of the best centers in the NFL already. At least top 10. You can put him at 10, but Cooper Beebe was earlier in the year, he struggled. Back half of the year, moving people, physical, holding up his own versus the likes of a Dexter Lawrence or a Jalen Carter or whatever you want to say. Cooper Beebe is a player. So now you look at that core, those 3 in the middle, and you start saying, that's the anchor? Because, you're going to say, well, what about Tyler Guyton? I don't have faith in Tyler Guyton. And we've been talking about Tyler Guyton all offseason, from his training regimen to him trying to get better and stuff like that. Fine. And can Terrence Steele get back to his former form when he was next to Zach Martin? I think he can with a person like Tyler Booker next to him. It's all connecting like Legos. But listening to Brian Broaddus and Vosh this morning talk about what our strength is going to be in our scheme. And look, I don't usually talk ball, but let's talk some ball. Like our scheme and why it fits what we have and why, some of the running backs, Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, Jadon Blue, dare I say Deuce Vaughn. It fits what we're doing because we're going to be running a gap scheme concept. Let me let them talk about it.
What are we doing? Well, kind of like a gap scheme, where I'm like, oh, so no, like outside. So, well, we're going to, but the way that we look at our team is a gap scheme team, and okay, well, that bodes well for if you're a fan of what the Arizona Cardinals are doing. Yeah, one of the bigger gap scheme teams in the league. So, is that a hint? Do you have gap scheme personnel? You're the old O line coach. They got gap scheme personnel? Yeah, they do.
Sure do, bro.
Running backs for gap scheme?
There's 2 or 3 of them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, that might be, I'm like, I got to figure this out. Drinking the Kool-Aid because I love the newness of the coaches.
Sure.
Putting the glass down because, damn, I hope it works.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure these things out.
When I talk about things, I get it. You're probably like, Rome, you don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. You're not X's and O's guy. I understand that. When Brian Broaddus and Vach, offensive line guru, world-renowned scout, when they get to talking about it and explaining it and being like, yeah, we got the personnel for that, that's when your ears should perk up. That's when the excitement should come in, because we do have the personnel for that. We do. And I trust them. There's a lot of people in the community I trust. I don't need to name all of them. Y'all know, y'all see me interact with them. If I ain't interacting with them, it's not down to don't trust them. Maybe I haven't built that relationship. But a lot of people that I might not know the X's and O's, I trust them with expert eyes to know it. And now that I feel more comfortable about some of the pieces we have in place because of the scheme we're going to be running. So it made me do what I always do. When I hear certain terms in football, I don't just ignorantly just take word for it. I like, well, let me go learn. What is a gap scheme about? You know what I'm saying? So I went and did some digging, found a little clip for you. So if you're not familiar with a gap scheme, let me show you, then explain why I'm excited, why I feel like the offensive line is going to be the anchor. Although PFF has ranked us 23rd in the NFL. Nasty work. And they're saying Cooper Beebe's young. They're saying Tyler Booker's young. They leave Tyler Smith alone because they know he's a beast. But then they say Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele will struggle, and that's fair. But I feel like that's going to be grossly wrong at the end of the year. Now listen to this little breakdown on gap schemes.
So when we talk about gap schemes is we're going to pull either a guard or pull a tackle, and everyone's going to be blocking to the gap away from them. So for instance, if we're going to run to the right, we're going to pull this guard. Everyone is going to be blocking away from that guard pull down, and then this guard will kick out this player right here. We might even get a tackle pull depending on the play, but that's the main difference is everybody's blocking away in the gap away from them, and we're going to pull guards as opposed to zone. Everyone's stepping the same way.
Now, when you hear that breakdown, very small, very concise, very short, you can see it. It allows you to understand, why would this work? You know, not try to be like me and put yourself in a football coach's mindset, X's and O's. Tyler Guyton might not be a person like a Tyler Booker, being able to just move people off the line, just physical. But his biggest attribute as an offensive lineman is athleticism. See, Terrence Steele's biggest thing, he loves to duo block. Him and Zach Martin used to move people. That's Terrence Steele. I think Guyton is a mover. I think you could pull Guyton, get him out in space. His athleticism, former basketball player. I think his length, blocking out in space, would be an attribute. Get him on the move. Tyler Smith, a very athletic guard. Tyler Booker, a very athletic guard. Seen him pulling at Alabama. Cooper Beebe, very athletic. You start feeling like, oh, this scheme might work. See, when we was running a zone blocking scheme, everybody just stepping in the same direction, I don't think it fit the attributes of our offensive line. Then you start to realize why we got Clayton Adams. Because what he was doing in Arizona with the gap scheme was working. Now you're starting to see, okay, we got him now. That's our new offensive coordinator. Connor Riley, that fits together because of what he was running in college. Brian Schottenheimer with a very running the football background. The only piece you're worried about is, do we have the running back personnel? And I'm going to stay on that because I still want another running back, at least just one. But even before then, Miles Sanders fits this scheme. Javonte Williams, Jadon Blue, Deuce Vaughn. We might be cooking just quietly. But I want to know what y'all think in the comments about the gap scheme, about us having the proper personnel for it, about how our coaches affect that, and how this offensive line really could be the anchor of this team. Because those three pieces in the middle, the foundation, it's going to help the outside and work out from within. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I just want to touch base with y'all on this. Yeah, man, I'm back. Little vacation, a lot of thoughts. I appreciate y'all and I love y'all. I holla.